guys, it's Lisa back with another video for you for Lisa Wise Designs, and we're continuing in our saga on this triple pocket folio. So where we left off yesterday is we made the last of our 4 photo inserts, and we made these decorative paper clips that come on and off here. You can just slide on and hold these shut. Like I said yesterday, you really don't have to have a paper clip to hold them shut. They're, it's not something real big, but it's just kind of fun to do and something different. Okay, so we're going to concentrate today on making some of these photo envelopes. If you're enjoying this video series, if you're enjoying the video and series, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment if you have questions or if you're just having a good time. And if you want to make this along with me using the same paper and all the supplies, the ribbons, the clips, the Velcro, everything that comes with it, you can always pick up the physical kit. The link is below in the description box, or you can use your own supplies and just pick up the tutorial only. So that's out of the way. Let's talk about these cute envelopes. I made one that has the orientation of a vertical photo here, and I made one that has this orientation for horizontal. Doesn't have to be this way. You can make it however you want to. I think even on one of these I'm still going to put a horizontal photo here because that's just how it worked out. But here's the examples anyway. So let's get started with this one first. If you're following along on your cutting guide, we are in the middle of page 17 right here. Put this away for now. There, don't go very far. You have in your physical kit these 2 printouts, an envelope template and the envelope mats. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and cut around on the dark black lines all the way around. It'll look just like this when you're done. Your before and after, and then this is what you're going to use as a template to make these envelopes. And then I didn't want to leave you hanging. You actually get the mats here, so when you cut those out they look like this, and this is how you're going to mat your envelope once you get it done, just like this. It's hard to see since they're the same sheet of paper, but you get the idea. That's what these are for. So I have already had mine cut out, so just take your time. If you want to, on the long straight edges, you can use your paper trimmer like here and here, and then do the rest with scissors, or you can just cut it with scissors all the way around. Whatever you like, just take your time, get those cut out. I did want to mention for those who bought the tutorial only, be sure you're printing these at 100%. Every printer is different, so I can't really give you a tutorial on how to do that, but just take a little gander at that when it starts to print out. Mine was wanting to print like at 94%, and I just manually popped it up to say 100, and it prints fine. This is the way it prints at 100%. The worst thing that could happen is if you printed at 94, 96%, whatever that is, your 4x6 photo, which is sized to go right here in the center, will just have to be trimmed down a little bit. Because if you print both of these at the same percentage, they're going to work together. I hope that makes sense. But I just thought I would throw that out there since it happened to me. It probably will happen to somebody else. So you should have, I think, 3 sheets of paper left, black if you did not have to cut into it, and you'll need 2 of those for this envelope template, and you should have 1 piece of paper left, and that would give you 1 extra sheet in case you needed to recut something. But my suggestion would be, if you messed up anything, just make sure you get everything else done first, because you can always dig into your stash and get another black, even if it's not the exact same shade of black, or even any color, brown, that would go with this project, and use those 2 new pieces to cut this envelope, and nobody will be the wiser. I always like to throw out those tips because I don't want someone to stress out if they miscut and they're not sure what to do, because usually in a kit you usually get only exactly what you need to make your project so there's no waste. But if something happens, since this class is not in person, I can't just hand you another sheet of paper. So I just thought I would throw that out there. So all I did is I took an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, I laid my envelope template on it flush to the left and flush to the bottom. That way we don't have to cut those edges. They're already cut for us. So I'm just gonna look at the back and kind of make sure I did a pretty good job lining that up. Okay, put some paper clips on there. Take your pencil, hold down this edge and just take your time and go around. I don't think I mentioned it. If I did, it was just very briefly. If you're printing your own templates out, if you can print them on a thin cardstock, it's going to make this part of it much easier than if you printed it on regular copy paper, which is about, what, 20, 24 pounds, something like that. So if you can print this on something a little thicker, it's just going to make your life easier when you do this, that's all. But it can be done with regular paper. Take this off. Okay. Alright, so this is what I have. You can, yeah, there we go. You can kind of see that in the sun a little bit. Since we don't have to cut this side and this side, this is what it's going to look like. And I already have my second one done, cut out and scored. So you will need to make 2 of these. I'm going to make one with you on camera. Just know you're going to make another one. Okay, I think I'm through with you, bad boy. I'm going to put you right here. All right, I'm going to grab my scissors, and I'm just going to take my time and go around and trim. If you don't get it exact, the worst that can happen is it's just not going to fold exactly, I'll say straight, but straight's not really the right word. It's just going to, it might buckle in a couple places when we try to fold it, but that's really not big of a deal. We can always cut slits in it. So don't beat yourself up about this either. But I think this is kind of fun. Having some kind of different template to use or some kind of different shape in your album. That's always a little unexpected. This is fun. And I love envelopes. I love envelopes. I love tags. And I love tickets. So I got to figure out a way to use more tickets in my projects coming up. Oh, if you're wondering what's coming up next in the arsenal, that is Lisa Wise Designs. We are going to be doing a really cool Christmas in July project. If you love the one last year that had the wooden blocks, and then we made a type of folio with it, then I expect you will like what we're doing this year. That's all I will say for now. So that will be coming out. The kits will be coming out probably the last couple of weeks of June, depending on how quickly we can get everything to you. And then we'll be teaching the class as part of Christmas in July. All right, so now that we have that done, grab your scoreboard. We're still at the bottom of page 17. And you're going to butt this up to the left and at the top, and then your point is over to the right. So I need to find my scoring tool here. We're going to score at 3 inches and 7 1/4. So this 3 inches should be almost right where this flap starts. Should be almost right there, so you know you kind of got it right. Just like that. 3 inch here, 7 1/4. It's right here. So I did pretty good. I'm just doing it double just because I'm going so slow. Just like so. So that's what that should look like. Then you're going to turn it. And now we are at the top of page 18. So I'm going to turn it this way with the point at the bottom. And we're going to score at 3/4 of an inch. Right. Just like so. 3/4 of an inch is here. Just going to follow that line down. Right there. And you could come over here and do it, but I just find it easier to turn it and just be real easy, button up that that point at the top and go back over to 3/4 of an inch here. I'm just going to kind of follow it down and know where that groove is, and then come on down here. So it's a little tedious, just take your time, but it's very simple. Just takes a little bit of time to do. There you go. Isn't that cute? Loving it. All right, put this away now. right, so I'm going to go ahead and fold. And I like for this to be the outside and the little bump to be the inside, but that's just personal preference. So I'm just going to fold on all those score lines. Like I said, if it's not folding good for you, you can just cut a little slit in there where the fold is. Cut a little bit of that bulk out. We just go slow and see how this is working for you. Mine's pretty good. This is only 65-pound paper, I do believe. So it will get thicker and more substantial as we add all of our layers on here. So don't you worry about that. All right, there we go here. So now we're going to start matting. For the mats, I really did not know how to use this paper, even though it's lovely and beautiful. So I thought when I got to this point, it might be a cool time to break this out for the envelope. So I used it on the top flap and the bottom flap on the outside, and matched it up with this 4x6 cut apart, you know, that has the same, what are those? They're cameos, they're profile pictures. I know there's another name for it. I'm gonna sit here and go, Anyway, all right, so I'm going to grab, here's that 4x6 cut apart. All right, go ahead and distress it. Using that distressor all the way around. You know it's just going through my brain. It's like this. And then I'm going to grab this 3x4 card that says "We are blessed." So I'm going to go ahead and hit that with some ink. Here's the photo I'm going to use. Okay, I've already got it inked a little bit. I'm going to grab this photo. All right, gonna move everything out of the way for now. So we are at the middle of page 18. So we're going to cut a strip of this pattern paper at 2 3/4 all the way across at 2 3/4 by 12. So just watch your orientation because we want to strip like this. We're not going up and down, we're going across. 2 3/4. So a silhouette. Oh, have you been screaming that at me the whole time? It just popped in my head. A silhouette, because I remember like in kindergarten or first grade, they would put us up against like the bulletin board and they would shine that light like the projector, and then the teacher would go up and she would kind of draw it out. I remember saying it was silhouette. Okay, sorry about that. Don't you hate it when that happens? Okay, so listen up here, class. Make sure you're paying attention to your orientation or you're going to be sad. So let me just kind of show you here. You see how this is coming down? This is the outside of the envelope. So we want to cut it like this. That makes sense. Now this one, let me open this up. The rounded edge is at the top, which is the way this is situated. And the straight edge, well, if I get this in camera, is at the bottom like so. So make sure whatever paper you're using, you're setting it up so that it's going to look correctly, because you don't want to do this the opposite way. And so you've got some people here and some people standing on their head. Does that make sense? All right. Enough with that. So what I'm going to do, we're going to start with the flap. I'm going to butt it all the way up over as close as I can get to the edge, and then go all the way up to the top. Right. This here. All right, take a look at what I got here. And this one, the straight edge is at the bottom, the rounded edge is at the top, and it should be, we should have cut this exactly to the right width that we needed. So that's one less step we have to do. And I'm just going to push this over pretty close to the edge at the bottom here, like so. All right, so we should not have to cut the top and bottom on this one. Grab my pencil. Try not to go too fast so that I get a good drawing impression here. This paper's a little dark. You could draw on the back, it might be easier, but like I say, just make sure you know which orientation before you cut it, or you'll be sad. Because by the time we're done with this project, which we're getting pretty close, we're gonna use almost all of our paper. We only have like a teeny bit left. So I'm gonna cut this out. I'm gonna start by going between the two pieces that I drew out just to make it a little easier. Just cut that apart. And then I'm just gonna kind of hold my breath and cut around. It's not too bad. I can see, if I tilt it in the light, I can see the pencil mark, even on this dark paper. And I'm going through all the motions with you this first time around. The second one, I've already got, I think I've already got my flaps and everything cut so that we could just kind of assemble and talk through the process. I have a big eraser. Here it is. I'll see if I could find it. Yeah. If you have any big marks on your paper, now's the time to get rid of that. And I'm going to distress with this brown. Look, I don't know what I was going to say. Usually, well, I've been talking now for about 2 hours and haven't taken a sip. That's what I get. I need to take a sip of my drink. Okay, what I was going to say is, usually when I'm using a black base, I use black ink to do my edges, but I've cracked myself up because I was sounding like my old grandpa. This time I decided it really needed this vintage look, and this vintage photo is perfect for that. All right, I don't think I need my paper clips anymore. Maybe I do to cut my, yeah, I got some more pattern paper to cut. Okay, so here's this piece there, and we already cut out this 4x6 cut apart earlier in the process. So the flap is on the back. So here's the flap. It's on the top, on the back. This is how I've got my orientation laid out. You may want to do it differently because I'll show you what mine looks like. So mine, you flip it this way to open it up. But if you were to look at it here, these do not line up. That doesn't bother me. I really want them to line up here when it's closed, in that closed position, because I figure you're going to see that more often. So what we're doing is the flap is up on the back, then we're going to glue this on. Ooh, I forgot, this is another good place for a photo right here. I may have to come back to that and put a photo on there, because it is just screaming for something to be there. Okay, bone folder, where did you go? Under the scissors. So here's the back. We're going to flip this over, so it's kind of hard to see, but here's the flap. So I'm going to put this here. Put this here, and since I paid attention, it kind of lines up there. So I'm just going to open it up just to make it easier on myself. But once again, just make sure you know which direction for sure you're gluing down. Because that's another lesson learned. I think I was in the middle of teaching an in-person class when I did something like that. You know, back before the war, like I like to call this pandemic we're living in. And just had to laugh at myself. So now I kind of triple check myself when the orientation matters, especially in an in-person class, right? Because you can't edit that out. There we go. Okay, and once we mat the inside, then we'll be able to put our Velcro dot on it and hold it shut. I love it. So here would be the outside, and here would be or this will be one side of the envelope and this will be the other side. Adorable. Okay, so what I decided to do for the inside, it doesn't have to have anything to do with the outside, right? Because you can't see any of it. I decided to switch gears and lighten it up. So I used some of this butterfly paper here, and here, and I used this a 3x4 cut apart because I really wanted to use it here, but it's not big enough, right? So then I just kind of paper pieced that together, and I think it looks great. Now, here's the thing. This is set up for a vertical picture, and I have my heart set on using this horizontal one. This is another vintage photo that I found. Here is my mother. Here's her twin sister. And the two boys, and then I guess Aunt Barbara would be the middle sister, if you look at it that way. I just think it's really cool, and I just don't know how many families whose mother is in her mid-70s have these really cool pictures. Look at that truck in the back. I don't know if you can see. See, I don't want to trim any of that out. That is a cool truck. Okay, anyway. So I was trying to decide if it would look good in here like this, even though this is oriented the other way, or if I needed to change it and cut more of this out. But by doing that, I'm gonna have more butterflies. So I think, I wish you were here to tell me. I guess I should make it like this because this is what I sent to you and what you have pictures of, and I don't want to confuse you. And it'll be fine. My mama will forgive me. Okay, so first things first, let's find that butterfly paper. This is what I have left from what we've been using in the project. And see, here's one thing you have to think about. If the photo's going this way, which way do you want your butterflies to go? You know, do you want your butterflies to be like this, sideways? You want it to be up and down, just like that. So here I am trying to figure out on camera, you know, what if I did do it this way? Would it be so bad? Be so bad like this? Because I really have my heart set on this paper. So maybe I'm changing my mind again. All we need to do, it doesn't matter, we're paper piecing it anyway. So I'm just talking myself right into what I want to do. Okay, so we need a piece of paper. Okay, that's 3.5. Oh no, it just needs to be as long as that. But we need it to be at least 6 inches. 6 inches give us enough? It really doesn't. 6.5 gives us some wiggle room, or 7. All right. Maybe I should look at my instructions to see if I put that on there. Oh, look at that. Cut apart 2 butterfly scraps, 3 inches wide by 1.5 tall. Whatever. You can do it that way if you want to. Like I'm throwing my own stuff out there. All right, so I want this to be going in this direction here. So I need, let's see, how big do I need? I need it to be about 6.5 inches. I already have 3, so I need this to be 3.5 inches. But if I do that, am I gonna have enough to make this? I believe so. If I do 3.5, am I still gonna have enough to make that? Yep. Okay, sorry about that. I cut a 3.5 inch strip. This orientation, which you can see here, because I want it to be like this. In order to do that, yeah, okay. I'm gonna cut this down. We'll go ahead and cut it down. I'm gonna use more paper than what I need, but that's okay. Now I'm cutting this down into 4 inches. So 2 4-inch strips here. And then I'm going to butt this up just like this to give me a base to start with. Okay, so I hope I haven't confused you, but all I did is I did a 3.5 inch strip wide by 4-inch strip high. So I did 2 of those, and then I'm gonna butt it up against here. So I know this is a little bit of overkill. I'm gonna have more paper than what I need, but This is what makes sense in my brain when I'm working it out. Like so. Alright, so we're taping those together so they look like this. Because what we need to do is we need this piece of paper out of it. See this? This is what we need here. We need it to look like this. So I need to kind of decide where I want this. We are blessed, where this is going to cut off. So I'm going to come down, how much? A half an inch? Yeah, I'm going to cut a half an inch off the top. So I'm going rogue. You can follow the instructions there. You can follow me here. There we go. Now, so that gives me a good starting point. I cut a half an inch off the top. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put the flat side on the top. All right. Paper clip it together. And then I'm going to kind of see if this is kind of in the middle here. So let me see. This is about 1.25 inches from this side to where this red starts. And that's about 1.25 inches. Okay, so I did a pretty good job estimating. So I'm just going to take a little peek here to see if I cut right here, what that would look like. Right there. I think that's good. So I think that's some good estimating. Except that I just moved it. So about 1.25 from the side. Okay. I'm so excited though that it's going to be in the right orientation that I want it to be in. So you had the directions how to do it one way, and then I'm showing you how to do the other. But I guess the moral of the story is all you need is a piece of paper, no matter how you piece it together, that's just bigger than your template, and then you'll just trim that out. I mean, that's really, I know that's really what it all boils down to. Put this in my scraps. Uh-oh. Taping it back up, because the reason I'm doing that as I go along is it's just easier for me to take this and line it up on my page where I want it than to try to line this piece up, and this piece up, and then have them fall in the right spot. It's almost impossible for me. So this is the difference. This is what it looks like long. This is what it looks like short. So when we put it there, that is what it's going to look like. Okay. Ta-da! Okay, I'm gonna grab this one we're working on. I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna ink my edges. One of the reasons when I was making this album, and I think about the orientation of photos, and I'm sure you probably thought about this too. Photo orientation is exactly opposite now than it was, what we say, 20 years ago and before. We always held a camera this way, right? Almost always. I'd say 90% of the time we were taking landscape photos, and we had to turn that camera to go vertical. It was a little awkward. So most of our photos were landscape. But now, for some reason, it's more comfortable holding your phone, which we take most of our photos with now, in the vertical position. So if you think about that, I had designed these for more modern pictures, because most people take pictures in this orientation. But as I go back and look at these type pictures, they're mostly horizontal. So anyway, I'm sure there's lots of people who have thought about that and have made that comment, but you have to think about those things when you're designing your project of what kind of photos you're going to have. Or maybe not. Maybe just go with the flow like I just did here. Just say, okay, well, when it comes time. But if you're making this as a gift, you don't know what photos are going in here, you're probably better off guesstimating, which is my favorite accounting term I use at work, give me a guesstimate on that. I'm estimating that the majority of the photos are going to be in the vertical position if they're taking those photos now, right? Since cell phones have been prevalent, which, how long ago would that be? Maybe not even the last 20 years. I would say, I don't know, maybe the last 10 years has become more prevalent. Definitely the last 5. Look, look, love it. I'm so glad I did it, I love it. So cute. Okay, so now let's do the butterflies up here. The only thing I was worried about by doing that is I would have a big enough piece of butterfly paper left over to mat. If I can find what I did with it, here we go. So this is what I've got kind of left over here to do the right orientation. So see, this, if I do it in this orientation, it's going to be short. If I do it here, it's going to be going kind of in the opposite direction. So I could piece it together once again and put a piece in the center, or I could not worry about it and have them going in this direction, which I don't think that looks bad actually. Some things would not work out that way, would not look good. But, you know, I don't think that's too bad. All we can do is try, right? Oh, well, I can just kind of do this and look at it. Okay, I'm not, yeah, I don't love it. I don't love it. Okay, so let me cut down a piece here. I may already have one. Yeah, that would be right here. And then I just need some bigger red pieces, yeah, to go on the end here. Yeah, I can do it just like that. I'm just going to piece it together and do it the right way. You, of course, do not have to go along with me on this crazy ride. You could do it the right way the first time. All right. This video has gone rogue. All right, I'm just going to tape these pieces together at the bottom. The one thing that I hope you will keep in mind is when I watch other people make projects and they do these type of things, I learn something. At least I learned something, so that, you know, if this ever happens to you, that you don't panic or get upset because you don't have, quote, the right piece of paper or the same piece of paper, or my paper's too short and so I can't finish type thing. So that's the only reason why I'm going to leave this in my video and continue on working with it. So I hope you will take it that way as, okay, not that, well, she's just changing plans on us, but hey, here is an example of when something doesn't go exactly the way you think. It's okay. So make sure the orientation is correct. Went up this way. I'm starting at the bottom here. So I'm going to do my first estimate and put my paper clip there. All right. So from here to here is about 1.5 inches. Here to here, oh yeah, we're way over here. Here to here is about 1 inch. Back over here just a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of going from this tip here over into the butterfly paper and just kind of estimating how much that is over. That's like 1.25 inches here, just so that it's kind of got the same amount of red on each side. It doesn't have to be exact, but you don't want it to look obvious that it's not right. So I have about 1.25 inches on each side, and this piece turned out to be, that was 3.5. If you're following along, that's what it turned out to be. This is 3.5, and then there's 1.25 inches on each side. Because I knew I could go ahead and do that and just slap it down, but I would not be happy with it. If I ever looked at this project once I gave it to my mother, I would say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Should have done it the right way. Pieced it together, make it look like it was a design element. Because that's what we're doing. Once this is done, it's not going to look like, oh, you ran out of paper, you had to piece something together. It's going to look like, oh, she took the time to piece this together to give it some more personality. Let's take a look at that. Isn't that cute? Doesn't that look better? It kind of looks like a barn, doesn't it? The way it's oriented. Okay. I promise the next one's going to go much faster because I already have it cut out to go with it. So, oh, not quite center. There we go. Okay, I like it. I'm glad I took the time to do that. Thank you for indulging me. And this is the one that looks like this orientation. Cool. Actually turned out really pretty, doesn't it? Because it pulls in this red here. So I'm not hating it. I'm not hating it. So what I did here for the design elements is I had taken some of this blue, or you can do some of this red, and cut you 1/2 inch to 1/4 of an inch strips, whatever you got left. These are 1/2 inch strips. Just kind of take a look at your scraps here if they're long enough. Those are not going to be. So I'm just going to have to cut it out of this big piece probably. And if you're worried about orientation, you'll want to look at that too, because they're going to be going this way. So this actually works for me if I'm able to cut it in half. So I want a 1/2 inch strip about. Doesn't have to be exact, just using it as a design element. Because I want to put like a strip right here to bring in some of these butterfly colors and then layer on top of that. So I'm going to estimate the length right here and just trim it off, giving me, you know, about an inch or so more than what I need. And do that again on another side. There we go. Move this out of the way. Put it with my strips up here so I don't lose that in case I need it. And so then I'll put my example here. Just kind of put this in the center just to bring in some color, and then trim off the sides. And then we're going to do some layering on top of this. I love these. These are so much fun. I love, like I said, to make tags, and I love to make little elements like this to put into a book. They're a little time consuming, but I think it's so worth it, and it's just so much fun. So just make sure these hang off so that you'll be able to go on the back here and trim them, and so you'll have that same angle on both sides. That'll be kind of difficult, if not impossible, to try and figure that out before you glue it down, so there's no reason to do that. The worst thing that's going to happen is we're just going to get a little bit of glue on our scissors, and that happens to me all the time anyway. What I like to do between projects, when I finish a project, I always clean up my desk real well. I clean my mat. You can see it's getting dirty again. I like to clean my mat real good. I like to clean my scissors, get everything put away my scraps, and get ready for the next project. So I just turn this over to the back to make it easier then to trim these up. Well, Latte's been quiet now for a little bit. Now she's getting geared up again. She's had her dinner, and she's probably ready for me to come out and play with her. And her playing is pet me. And then she wants me to pet her. And then she has these cute little peeps from the dog store that she really likes, that she got for Easter. They look like the marshmallow peeps. I'm sorry, I keep getting out of frame. I gotta start glancing up and seeing that more. All right, so let's do some stickers here. I'll kind of show you what I did. And there are some pictures of this. See, I've gone rogue for so long, I hadn't been telling you that. Are there pictures of this with all this on it? I don't know. I'm totally lost. Okay, if not, here you go. This is what it should look like here. I layered some stickers here, which we're gonna do together. So you can see there's one here, here, and here. And then on the back, I kind of match some up so that you don't see that white edge poking up. You might see a little bit, but not much. And then I did the bottom where it doesn't show on the other side like that. So I'm doing mine this time in this orientation. So let's take a look at what stickers we have and if that's going to make a difference. Can I finally use my flower since we're going to this orientation? Ugh, they're blue on blue, so that's not going to work. I'm never going to be able to use that stinking flower. Let's go with the edges. So see, on this one I did it on the top this way. This time I'm probably going to go on the side. So I'm starting with this green one that says Our Story here. And I'm going to just kind of put it in the center at a wonky angle and place it down. And I know a lot of it's going to hang off here. So pick another one, which I'm going to pick Heritage for mine. There's lots to choose from. I took that drink and now my stomach's growling. So I'm going to fold this down and I'm going to match this sticker up to it. It's a little easier to do this way. So I'm going to take this sticker and just kind of take my time and try to get it matched up as best I can so that we're not going to have any white edges showing. Burnish that together. It's pretty good. Especially go back over your edges. And now when you have it open, you can see this, and when it's closed, you can see that one. I love it. Okay, so let's see if we have any hearts left. I've been using those hearts like they are going out of style. I got a blue one I can use. Oh, I picked up a photo corner with it. I have a blue one I can use, and then I used a Legacy of Love, one of these long skinny ones. Like I said, there's plenty to choose from if you want to take a look at what fits your situation. So how is this going to go on this since I'm doing this orientation? It's not. It's going to go this way. So I think I'm going to put this here at the bottom this time. Yeah, there we go. And put this heart here. So if you put a heart where it shows on the opposite side, you'll have to put another heart there. So I'm going to try and line this up where I don't have to do that because I'm running low on them. But I'll show you, that's what I did on this one. See, it has a heart and that. It's kind of lined up there. There and there. Forgot to ink that one, but I'm going to give myself a break and not worry about it. So this is how you can use some of those stickers. That's the only one that the orientation is going the other way. I could just leave that off or move it somewhere else, and that's going to make me unhappy. So I'm just going to easily pull that up, and now it's not going to have a lot of stick. So I'll put a little glue on it. Let's see where it would look better. Look better here? Yeah, I'm going to put it up here. Except I'm going to get it on there straight. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. And then I could leave this blank, or I could throw something on there, but I think for now I'm going to leave that piece blank. This is the only thing that I did last time, as it said memories on here. Okay, I like it. I hope you have loved this process. It's so fun. So now, I may be getting out of order, but now the last thing I would do is put, oh no, I guess I didn't get out of order. We're at the top of 20. The last thing I would do is put my Velcro dots on. So you have some Velcro dots in your kit. If you're following along and don't have a kit, what these are 3/4 of an inch clear Velcro dots. So I'm just going to cut mine apart. So I'm dealing with one set for now. All right. You can decide if you want the really clear piece to be here or here, whichever way you like to see that. I think I had my really clear piece here, but I mean, I don't think it really matters that much. So you just want to start on this side that has the pointy edge. You can pick which type of the Velcro, which side of the Velcro you want to use, but start on this side and just kind of put this up close. I'm going to, I'll show it to you in just a second. I'm going to make sure I burnish it really well. Just make sure you've got this really up close to this point. You know, I really thought I had a dog hair right there for a second, and I was fixing to panic, but it's the little butterfly in tune. Okay, anyway, maybe I'm tired. So then you'll take this other side and you'll place it down directly on the top of the one that you had and just real gently peel the backing off. All right. Just gonna make sure I've got this lined up pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. It might be off a millimeter or so, but it's pretty good. So make sure you've got this closed the way you want to. If it's bulky, if you have more things in there, just don't pull it tight. So then just press it straight down and then burnish it really well. And then this first time, be really easy opening it up because you want it to stay. Now I'm gonna put my finger on it because you really want it to stay before you had a chance to burnish, and then burnish it really good. All right, now you should be good. If you burnish it well, now you should be good to go. And there's your envelope. Don't you love it? I want to see if I had an extra, I love that sound. If I had an extra picture that goes here. Let's look. I really liked this photo. I didn't think I was going to be able to work it in, so excited. Go back to my photo crops here. Let's see. 3 by 4 is almost exactly the inside of that, but it's gonna have to be a little bit thinner. Let's see what I've got to choose from here. I think this is going to be the closest here. So this will help me going right to left, and top to bottom I'm only gonna be able to go to about the top of where it says Simple Stories here. That may work out. I hate to cut out the trees in the background because you know that really helps tell the story on these vintage photos. Well, I don't want to cut off their heads or their shoes if possible, so I'm just going to kind of go to the top of the tallest one's head, which is my Uncle Hardy. Don't you love these southern names? Hardy Thompson and Barbara Nail. And his name, of course, is Charles, but we've always called him Uncle Charlie. Charlie, there's no R in it. Charlie. Here in the South, or maybe that's just my family, but we always kind of know if you're not a family member or you're from a different part of the country when they call him Charles, or they call him, I don't even know how to say it right. I guess you would say Uncle Charles. Charles. We have always said Charles. Uncle Charles. All right, so I'm kind of following along on my outline. Well, I guess I was talking. I didn't draw one on the other side. But anyway. Did now. What I get for chatting. So see, that really helps, right? I really think these are a cool thing to help you, especially cutting photos down when you're estimating where you want to cut that. So if I put this here, how much of the bottom do I have to cut off? I'm just going to go to the very bottom of the shoes and see if that's going to look okay. If I were doing this ahead of time, I could like trim out this and tuck it behind, but I did not think of that. And so I think I'm just gonna put it down here and then maybe put a sticker over there so the butterfly doesn't look weird and it says Forever Family. And I think I'm gonna like that. I think I'm gonna like that. Scrapbooking on the fly, love it. I know there's some other folks out there like me that's so ready to be able to scrapbook with their family, their buddies, their girlfriends, whoever it is, to get together and craft. I kind of wonder how many scrapbookers there are left in the world. I don't know how much the next generation does that. Okay, so to kind of help pull this together, I'm going to grab some washi. Kind of put this here on the edge like so. To balance it out, I'm going to do the other side. Put a little longer strip. Since this is going to go in and out of the project, definitely want to put some glue under it. Okay, it's a little too long, so I'm going to rip that off. So, okay. clean, loving. And I wanted to see if I could put something over that butterfly so that it didn't look funky anymore. So I hope I don't need this blue butterfly anywhere else because I'm fixing to put him right here. So see this butterfly? I covered up a lot of him and his wing. I'm just gonna put this one over it. So stinking cute. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I made my camera shake. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Oh my goodness, I'm almost an hour in, but I promise this one will go quicker because I have most of it trimmed out. So it's already been cut, but I was having so much fun. I'm on the side that kind of has the bubble. I still got a lot of good light. Yeah, it's almost dark outside, but the light in here is still pretty good. I'll keep going. Just like that. So once again, you just want to make sure you got your orientation right when you're putting this down. So on the back side of this, if this was totally folded, you got your flap on the top and down. I chose this one that says together we make a family. This doesn't want to cooperate, so I'm just going to open it back up and then glue it. I love this color. Whatever you call this color, I love it. Okay, so put this kind of right in the center of all four of those score lines. So, well, just drop that bone folder. So this is where you might could go awry if, you can see me trying to pick up my folder. If you did not print your template at 100%, the 4x6 is not going to fit exactly right here. You would just need to trim it down a little, and that's okay if that happens. It's not the end of the world. That's the worst thing that can happen. So flip this back over in the closed position. What I did is I had my flower here. I have two of those. So once again, you're going to want to watch your orientation because this flap has flowers, and I did the same flowers on this flap. If you have butterflies in here, you don't want them to be flying down, or maybe you do, but I didn't. I wanted them to be flying up. So that way you have to cut one this way and one this way when you're cutting your strip. You'll need to cut them like so. Don't cut them in the same way. Does that make sense? Because you've got one on one side of the flap and one on the other. And then I chose one red and one blue, and make sure you're looking at your orientation. So let's put this together. I have the red. So here's the outside of my envelope. So I want to make sure my butterflies are flying up. And this one has a butterfly, it's flying up. So always the straight edge is on bottom and the curve is on top. Okay. So if I beat that dead horse enough, sorry. But I just want to make sure you don't make the same mistake and run out of paper to cut and then not be a happy camper. So here's one, and this one's going to go here. But if you do, just piece it together like I did. Just measure how big of a piece that you need to have in the end to make it at least an inch bigger than that. And then place your template over it and cut it down. Cool. All right, so when you open it up, here's the sample. This is how I did this one, like so. So then your yellow piece here, butterflies are going up. Blue piece here, those are going up. I love this paper. I hope you did when you got this kit. This is some beautiful paper. Sometimes it's hard to find paper that, I don't know, that it's got that vintagey look, but it looks dirty or old-fashioned. I don't know. This to me was a perfect mix of vintage look with florals. It's really pretty. And I'm not a huge butterfly fan, but I thought this paper pack was done really well. All right, so there we go there. So once again, I had a horizontal photo I'm going to put in here. This is my sweet mother. This is going to be her book. This is her going into cut, I guess that's what you would call it, on our Iceland trip from a few summers or spring ago. Very cute. So I would do the same thing here. Use little strips of paper. This time I think I used the same, no, this is like the blue flower paper. And then I put a one of those tag stickers there and some hearts. And this is treasured memories. And then on the back, if it came on the other side, then I just kind of matched those up. And then on this one, I put some washi tape and said, love this here. So we're almost an hour in, so I'm going to finish this one up, and we'll have one more video, and we'll do all of our tags. Yeah, we've got tags. I'm looking behind me, and inserts, and matting the very back of the folio. So that's not too bad. Let's see. I wonder if I want to change anything here. I want to use that same paper and see how that looks. I'm going to go I'm going to go to 1/2 inch this time. Make sure I did like a little less than that last time, and it was yeah, this is a little more beefy. Let's do that again. I must have done 1/4 inch on the other one. These, I'm not too worried about the orientation. These flowers, they're so big, it's kind of even hard to tell what they are, except that it pulls in from here. And putting glue in the center. And lining this up here. Yeah, I think I like these little bit bigger strips. That way I don't have to decorate it as much, right? Because it's already decorated. So that helps pull this blue in here and those yellow flowers. It's to the front. You also have to let me know if there's a theme you'd like to see in kits. I know we're doing Christmas in July, and then this fall we're going to be doing a travel type kit. More on that to come. That won't be for quite a few months because it'll come this fall. And then other than that, I'm just not sure. So if there's something you really like to see, let me know. So I'm just going to add some brown on the edges here where I just trimmed it up. There we go. Isn't that cute? Pretty. But I am going to go ahead and see what a sticker would look like here. I've got blue, so let's pull in some red. That's this family. Then on top of that, then we can put this blue to help bring some of that blue in with this flower here. Just like that. And much as I hate it, it's going to have to go in this orientation for it to make sense, like this. And then we'll take another one, just maybe this green. Okay, as I fold this down, I'm going to line this up to the best of my ability. Turn it over before I push it on there because it's a little high, so I can pull it down just a smidge. Okay, and they may not be exact mirror images of each other either. Here we go. Okay, I'm loving this. This is the one we made today. This is the one that I made previous. So since I have this big strip here, I think I'm just going to leave that one alone. So we need to put our Velcro dot on here. Move that out of the way. So once again, just start on this side that has the little tip and just try to get that on the pattern paper as close to the top of the pattern paper, not going on the black as you can, like in the middle of where that tip comes up. I keep losing my little bone butter. Burnish it really, really good. Okay, then you can fold this up, put the other side right there in the center. Right, and then pull it back really easy so it doesn't move. Just try not to touch it to get any of the glue off. Now fold it straight down, burnish. Go really slow. Now I'm gonna put my finger on top of it and burnish it a little bit more, but I don't want to ruin my photo since I have a photo in there. One. Okay, I am in love. I hope you're liking these inserts. I know this took about an hour to make two, and I even had this one mostly cut, but I think it's so worth it. I think these are so awesome to put in an album. They're beautiful to put like a one really special photo in. All right, I hope you're enjoying this project. I am really enjoying making these videos with you. I absolutely love this. Like I said before, if you want to pick up a kit, there's still a few left to make all of this. This is kind of what we've made so far that we need to put together. You can go to my Etsy shop, and that link is below. If you make any of these, please go over to our Facebook group, share it with us. We would love to see some of your inspiration. So I will see you guys back tomorrow. We're gonna do our 4x8 tags, our smaller tags, which I'm not sure what those sizes are, some more inserts, and then decorate the back of the photo. I keep forgetting what I called this. The photo sleeve insert. And be done. So we got one more video. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you back here this time tomorrow. Bye, guys.